of 2016. This group of white supremacists got together after the election. Richard Spencer, the head of this white supremacist group, and they gathered and they hailed Trump as their newfound leader, their Hitler of their day, to follow and get all excited about. Because these deranged people didn't realize that the Nazis were the bad guys. Haven't they watched any World War II movies? You know, if they slept through history class all through school and they missed the point that the Nazis were the bad guys, didn't they watch any movies? Didn't they see that they were actually the bad guys, and we were trying to put down those bad guys who were marching all through Europe, killing people? I guess not. They didn't get it. Donald Trump threw more fuel on the fire. You know, the president is supposed to, when there is trouble in the nation, the president's supposed to somehow try to bring the nation together. Try to get us to focus on our commonality. But not this guy. This guy, for two reasons, folks, is throwing more fuel on the fire. One is because he knows who his base is. And his base is commonality. Its common bond is white racism. Whether they're marching the streets with torches down in Charlottesville, or whether they're at home watching Fox News and agreeing with what they see on TV, it's the commonality of the Trump base, white racism. Fear of non-whites, fear that they're losing ground, fear that they're losing jobs. And the worst thing that ever happened, and they wish it didn't happen in their lifetime, but they saw it happen, was a black man and his black family in the White House. And that was the last straw. You know, the straw that broke the camel's back for these people. Now they feel it's time to fight back. We're losing it. Obviously, in my lifetime, a black man became president of the United States. Oh my, we're going to hell in a handbasket. It doesn't matter if within his presidency, President Obama guided this country out of the worst economic time since the Great Depression. And look at what we're having now, very low unemployment. And we'll get to the fact that Donald Trump had nothing to do with where we're at now. We'll get to that later on in the program. But Donald Trump, after being forced to read something from a teleprompter that his writers wrote for him, condemning Nazism and KKK and white supremacy, and you can tell he was reading it when he read that second statement he made, because the pressure was mounting. They told him, you have to get out there. You have to read the statement we wrote for you. If you don't, they're going to think you're like a Nazi sympathizer. They're going to think that when you said both sides were to blame, that you were soft on these crazy people. You have to get out there. And he read it, but then he went back and erased that. He doubled down on both sides were to blame, and there are good people on both sides too. And here he is in the press conference, once again going rogue and saying whatever is in his very dark, wicked heart.
Excuse me, they didn't put themselves down as you, and you had some very bad people in that group. But you also had people that were very fine people on both sides.
Okay, there you go. You heard it out of his own pie hole. There were very fine people on both sides. Not true. Down in Charlottesville, we saw them marching through the streets. Jews will not replace us. Blood and soil. Anti-black slogans. Anti-Jew slogans. They were all bad. All these people, if you're involved in a white supremacist group, let me inform you, just as the Nazis in Germany were bad, you are bad. There were not fine people in that march. Now, the counter-protesters were there to say, hey, we're going to speak out against you. We're not going to be passive. And that's what happened in Germany as the Nazis rode to power. If there were any good people there, they remained silent. They didn't protest. They didn't rebel and said, not my country, not in Germany here. We're not letting the likes of you people rise into power. We're going to speak out. You're going to protest in the streets. We're going to protest against you. We're not remaining silent. It's been said, all that's needed for evil to succeed is for good people to do nothing. It was good people who turned out to protest against the Nazis, the skinheads, the neo-Confederates, and these white supremacists. There weren't fine people on both sides. But Donald Trump knows these people voted for him. These KKK people, these Confederate, neo-Confederates, neo-Nazi people, these white supremacists are part and a good, strong part of his base. And he knows even those who weren't there, these other Republicans, these other alt-right folks, these other Tea Party folks, it's the common thread, the common bond, the white supremacy, white nationalism that holds his constituency all together. And if it comes out with a strong condemnation, they're going to say, wait a minute, he's talking about me, and I voted for him. I thought he was on our side. I thought he was our white champion. And here he is talking against me. So he had to come back. Because this old dude, at 71, and he's already proven he's incompetent to do the job, can't even get along with his own Republicans, can't even get along with his own hand-picked staff. He's firing them all. He wants to run again in 2020. So he wants to hold his coalition of bigots together. He doesn't want to disenfranchise them. And the other part is, this is how he really feels.